period where we make a lot of money in crypto is coming again, and I am fully prepared. In this video, I want to show you how I prepared and what I am still doing to make sure that this year is gonna change life for the better, right? So welcome to the FOMO Factory. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn the bell notification on so you don't miss out on anything. And let me start with saying, guys, this is a fantastic time to be here. There's of course a lot of doubt in the market right now. On the other hand, always, low prices have been opportunities. And if we think that this time isn't different, and if that plays out like that again, then this is the golden moment to be here. So I want to talk about a few projects actually in specific. And again, fully what I am doing to make sure that I'm getting the most out of this market, because there is so much to get out of this, right? So to go over the market a little bit, Bitcoin was sitting at $107,000 today. Again, it's now 1608. The strength is definitely here since the last low of 102, which was a higher low. So still a very bullish pattern. Flag pattern right here, flag pole coming from the downside. So overall, the pattern is really bullish. Bitcoin has to blast through, low 107, give or take. There's going to be some big resistance, definitely. So that's what needs to be checked off. In the meantime, though, the Bitcoin dominance is in this rising wedge, which is overall a bearish pattern, right? And it's a short time frame, so there's nothing long-term, short-term. But even if we just keep on ranging, then we could see potentially 64% dominance. Now, what I think is really important at this stage of the market, when altcoins are holding up but not doing well, look which altcoins are reacting best and position yourself in these altcoins now that the market is criminally undervalued. Because by the time that the market is going to heat up, you're going to notice that it is going to give you a lot of gains. And what do I mean by the market is undervalued actually? Well, something went wrong right here. But if you look at the total crypto market and the fair value, we are now at this moment undervalued. If this thing ever loads, that would be fantastic. Here we go. So we are at the moment undervalued. The crypto market is currently valued at $3.9 trillion. That's the fair value, right? $3.9 trillion. We are now at 3.3. The fair value is basically a moving average. We spend so much time above it, so much time below it, and that makes for how it's looking right now. Right, so can we see a decent pump in the rest of this year? Every post-halving year, we went way above the fair value. Going just to the fair value would already mean big new all-time highs. So where's the strength sitting at the moment? If I look at my altcoins, well, if I look at the altcoin market at first, others, it's still in a bull market. We have higher highs and higher lows, holding the trend line. We had a little movement below the trend line, just like what we had with COVID. Overall, that turned out to be the best buying opportunity that you ever got, basically. The altcoin market, excluding the top 10, did not make new all-time highs yet. If we look at the altcoin market, only excluding Bitcoin and stables, you can see that it did make new all-time highs. Not by really far, but it did make new all-time highs. So this market is showing like, hey, yes, it's hard. Yes, so far it's a slow mover. But if you are in the right coins, you can make some decent money with this. Now, if you look, for example, at Aerodrome. I posted this in the Alpha Factory as well. Buy sell levels at the 30th of May. This point right here, which was around 50 cents, huge support, just a buy level. This here would be really your last opportunity, and this level right here, yeah, well, it's technically the last, but that's like if it breaks below there, then it's done, right? 54 cents. Arrow showed strength in the last couple days. If you look where it's sitting right now, it's sitting at 80 cents at the moment. So even though it is still Of course, admittedly, far from where it came from, but that's not, that weird considering what the market itself is doing right now. From the last low, basically just a few days ago, Arrow went up with 80%. Look, you can always make sure that you have some gunpowder, you don't want to shoot anyone, dry powder, to just buy levels on certain altcoins, which are not even that risky. You don't have to go into the new coins, the risky stuff, the low cap stuff, the one of the 40 million meme coins out there. Just could have gone with an Arrow, right? And made an 80% gain, give or take, if you timed the bottom, but still made a pretty decent gain. And then now decide like, okay, let's take some out. Might it go here, here, and or here? Sure. But every time this market pumps, like the last bull market and the bull market before that, we have a long period where the pumps get retraced again. And the best thing that you can do is make sure that you are the one who's dumping and don't let other people dump on you. So definitely take profits, even if it's just a few percent. Don't take too much, I would say, because the altcoin market has shown like, hey, overall, we have been going sideways for a year right now, right? A year. We go down, up, down, up. At a certain point, I think people will say, you know what, this time, when we go up, I take a lot of profits because we'll probably go down again. And at a certain point, also, the market just keeps on going up and leaves all these people behind. So you don't want to be fully out of the market, of course, but take some good profits. But Arrow is one that shows to me like, hey, in a market where Bitcoin is not yet in price discovery, really, in a market where we don't have a stop of QT yet, in a market where there are still no rate cuts, and in a market where the Bitcoin dominance is still sitting at pretty much cycle highs, we have alts like Arrow showing like, hey, once I get low enough, we pump with a 3x. Why? Because it's just a good project. People want to buy the token to get the revenue fees. It's a base is just a great chain to be on. And the liquidity was so low that it takes nothing to pump it. Right? Even here, it pumped 38% when it was sitting at $150, right? $1.50. That liquidity was still low enough to make it go up with 40% in a single week. So of course, when it's sitting all the way down at 28 cents, it takes nothing to pump these coins. I said that before. It's mostly a matter of liquidity. And of course, there are shit projects that if they go down, they don't come back because, hey, liquidity, yeah, who wants to buy them? Make sure that you are in coins that people want to buy. And that could be, of course, a little speculative, but I wouldn't go too risk on yet, right? You can do that later. But Arrow is definitely an outperformer, so worth keeping your eyes on. I said in the Out Factory, I took my personal profits on OXO. My average entry was 7 cents, and I took profits at this price right here. So I have some powder to get back in on this one or other projects when things are a little lower again. Also, Seedify. And this is what I mainly want to talk about in this video. Because Launchpad tokens, mainly Seedify, in my opinion, are gonna give by far the best returns. Not only because of their token, but also because of the launches that are coming up. Now, Seedify, with their whole flywheel 2.0 narrative, it is gonna crazy. I call it Seedify these days. And why? Not because Seedify is outperforming so hard. I mean, yeah, you can take a look at the chart and be like, well, it's up 97% from the cycle low. Most coins are at least up 90% from the cycle low. So that's nothing different so far. But the pump that it showed recently compared to the rest of the market was really interesting. And I said before, Seedify and Launchpad tokens are laggers. It went down harder than the rest of the market, but it will also go up harder, but it goes up a little later as well, because people first want to make money with new projects, or with their current projects, with our current portfolio. And then whenever they have money, they want to bet on new projects. Here, the altcoin market started to go up, and you see Seedify went up a little later. Here, the altcoin market topped out. From that point, Seedify had its own run. And this is all that we have seen in the last couple days, weeks, is not big altcoin market wise, right? It's a few percent, 20%. People think, oh, 20%. Yeah, it went sideways for so long. Of course, 20% feels like a lot, but if you realize that it's the altcoin market, at a certain point, we will get more than that, of course. I think Seedify is going to cook really hard. Technical wise, here sitting around 90 cents, 120 is going to get some big resistance in my opinion. But this thing is going to cook really, really, really hard. They have two launches upcoming, the Peel and Decipher. What Seedify is now doing is these projects are micro cap launches. This is 100K initial market cap launch with 250 fully diluted, and they're going to do a lot more of that. But mostly the things that they are changing, the engagement is sick. You can get a higher allocation if you engage, and that's really a new way of launching coins and making sure that people get an allocation in a project. So that's already fantastic. But also, this coin is going to be paired with S-Fund. So if this thing becomes a success, then S-Fund will profit from that as well. We see how that goes with virtuals. That is outperforming really, really hard. The Peel is, you can say, I don't want to call it a meme coin. Actually, it's a community. How they say it. The Peel is a mimetic news agent blending AI generated news, crypto chaos, and memes, all powered by the Peel token. Show up, rank up, and peel deeper into the layers. And I love this because the quality that they push out is through the roof. It is really, really good. As you can see right here as well, for a project with such a market cap that they're gonna launch with, the interaction that they're getting, real interaction, is crazy. Their graphics are on point. People are tattooing this thing. It is absolutely fantastic. And I think that Seedify is really gonna cook. Therefore, I bought a lot of S-Fund myself in the last couple of weeks to make sure that I have the biggest tier that I can have. And luckily after that, Seedify really started to go up. So I was right on time. But if you feel like I don't have the right tier yet, it's not that you're too late. I mean, Seedify is currently sitting at a 93 cents. You have to realize, if we go to CoinGecko, you can see that the Seedify actual market cap is still really, really, really low compared to where it came from. It's sitting at a $60 million market cap. I don't want to look at price because of inflation, but 60 million compared to the 350 million where they already went this cycle. What's also very interesting to me is that this cycle, it went slightly higher than the last cycle. What's the difference? Last cycle we had alt season. This was, some people said we had alt season in March 2024, but in all honesty, I don't really see much of an alt season there. March 2024 was here on the Bitcoin dominance. That was no alt season, right? Again, alt season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. That wasn't the case. The Bitcoin dominance was going up and then went sideways a little bit. So why did Seedify go so hard? Yeah, because Bitcoin went up really hard in that period, right? If we overlay the Bitcoin chart, you can see that this is what happened. It was when Bitcoin went from 40K to 70K, right? You have to remember Bitcoin is now 106K. So whenever the dominance does come down to these levels and Bitcoin is still sitting here or higher, it is very likely that this is going to be left behind, this market cap of 350 million. And the founder also says, if we can get to 350 as a simple launchpad, then let's see what we can do in this full new mechanism. This is, in my opinion, I don't want to make it sound like I want to predict it, because you'll never know, right? But where I'm placing my money is that this is going to fly, going to cook, going to print money. And that's the beautiful thing, that will only pay off to the people who get in here, right? The people who got in here, they did fantastic. The people who got in here, they did fantastic. I personally didn't get in here. I got in all over the place right here. But now we are at that same point. But that same point is also always the point where people say, nah, it's over. It's not gonna happen. It's different this time. And that's fine. I mean, I made my content a lot about convincing, like, hey, you should be bullish at the lows and bearish at the highs. And I got a lot of shit for it. And to be honest, I get the sentiment. It's not the right thing to do, but I get the sentiment. But I just want to now focus on the people who believe in crypto, and that, you know, the people that are still here and take advantage of the low prices, whether it's by investing or studying or being involved or learning or whatever it may be. And maybe the market is not going to play out the way we want. In that case, we at least took the best bet. But maybe the market is just yet again going to play out the way we expected. And in that case, the preparation at this point was the most obvious thing to do, and the rewards will be insane, right? Because with Seedify, it's not only the case that it could go from a 50 million to a $350 million market cap, which is a 7x from this point, to just go back here, right? But it's also, again, the launches that you can participate in. Now, I do want to mention, this can launch with such a low market cap because they don't raise a lot. If they're gonna raise a lot of money, yeah, then eventually it's gonna be really hard to have your tokenomics on point, right? And to launch with a low market cap. So because they don't raise a lot, you will notice, it's just 70K raise, right? You will notice that the allocation that you are getting for this launch is going to be relatively low. That's something that Seedify is going to deal with. There are going to be people, I can already tell you, saying like, oh, just get this allocation. I know, but that would mean that there is a bigger chance that this is going to make a lot more gains than something that's going to raise millions, right? Also, don't say that the market didn't give you the opportunity, because again, yes, it is a low raise, but a higher tier will make you able to invest more. With these low prices that we just seen, it was literally 12 times easier, 13, to get the higher tiers than what it was over here. So therefore I'm saying all the time, prices are low, take advantage. It is a good thing that prices are low. Because if prices are never low, then yeah, what's there for you to sell high, right? Everybody loves this. But why? Because they didn't buy here, right? And again, a lot of people probably didn't buy here, or even still here, which is still cheap. Yeah, then it's gonna suck whenever the price is gonna be here, because now it's like, hey, raises are too low. And when the price is here, it's like, oh, these tiers are too expensive. Yeah, therefore you should believe when nobody else does. And that makes you one of the few. And what is crypto doing best? Rewarding just a few. So This goes for every project actually, but with Seedify, it's also again that their raises are going to be pretty insane. Now, I do want to mention that what is likely to happen, in my opinion, market-wise, so for the complete altcoin market, and therefore for Seedify. Why did I put so much money into Seedify to get that highest tier? Well, again, Bitcoin is sitting at $106,000. But altcoins don't really profit from that because the Bitcoin dominance is also high, right? So all the money that got into the market mostly just went into Bitcoin. In my opinion, this is fuel in the tank. Because if you look at last cycles, you can see that they're pretty clear as well. The Bitcoin dominance was going up, right? Here as well, the Bitcoin dominance was going up, 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 up. In the meantime, Bitcoin was also going up, right? We had here the low for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was going up, 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 up. So here at the end of December 2020, yeah, Bitcoin was sitting at fat new all-time highs, and everybody on Twitter was bear posting how bad altcoins were. But then what happened? The shift. The Bitcoin dominance went down. Bitcoin even continued going up. So what happened? Altcoins completely exploded at this point right here. This little wick that you see in the dominance right here. If you overlay the altcoin market right there, purple, that was here. That's where altcoins completely ripped. Hey, like, it's not that we have to hope for, like, whoa, where's the money coming from? That's already done, right? Look at Bitcoin. Look at the total crypto market. The money is there. So that's not a problem. That's checked off. Bitcoin can crash with 30K and altcoins will still explode if Bitcoin dominance goes down. So all we need is this to go down. You could say like, well, that never happens. It will always be high. Okay, cool. Then stick with Bitcoin. That's fine, right? There's not a lot of risk right there. In my opinion, it will go down. And then the altcoin market will catch up. Once the altcoin market catches up, automatically coins like Seedify go with it. But then also what happens, people make money. Everybody is in a profit. And then people think, how can I make money? By being early. Well, I'm not early in the altcoin market anymore. Let's go with pre-sales. What's the safest way? Launchpads. What's the best launchpad? Seedify. Let's go into Seedify. And then what you see happen is that there is so much demand for these new projects. Because you could say, like, there are already too many coins. These are dead. Let's talk about real projects that gain actual liquidity and do something in the market. What happened, if you look at the past IDOs by Seedify, the ROI, all-time high ROI, was completely crazy. Right? In a bull market, 2021, 21, 21, 21, change GPT, right? 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, all Q3, 4, 2021, right? Why? Because it was an alt season. The altcoin market did fine. People wanted to get into new projects, not to ship projects, right? Why would you? Why would you gamble if the safer, refundable projects do 100x? Nobody's going to use pump fund when this happens again, or what kind of platform so ever. Why take more risk for the same or lower reward? That doesn't make sense, right? I'm not saying that Seedify will again do a lot of 100x launches. If I look at the last cycle, 50x launches were like, meh, it's okay, but meh. Right? Yeah, if we just get 350x launches while you have a good tier, you're done for the rest of the cycle. You're done, right? If you can invest $2,000 and you pull off a 50x on average, right? On average, it's what you take out. Whoa. Okay, cool. Give me 3 of those. Compared to last cycle, that's bad performance. And Seedify is now completely doing it different. Again, what if a Blocktopia, which did a 700x, didn't had its liquidity paired with Ethereum or USDC or whatever it was, but with S-Fund? You know what that have done to the Seedify price? Holy shit. And that's what they're going to do right now. Will every launch succeed? No. Of course not. Of course not. But that doesn't really matter, because one winner makes up for a lot of losers. If you look earlier this year, or last year actually, look, these newer projects were nothing to hold. As you can see, this is the ROI. That's what these tokens are worth right now compared to their IDO price. Anything below 1 is a loss, right? So if you look, for example, let me not AI, right? If you would have held it, you would have lost like 87% of your money. Then again, when it launched, it did a 4x. Right, so there was enough time, depending on how much you got on TGE and what the vesting was, to get your money back. And therefore, you want to maybe make a deal with yourself, like, hey, you know, if I don't get my money back at TGE already, I'm gonna just refund it. If you look at Auto, 13x, now way below IDO price, but hey, this thing made me a lot of money, right? And it made up for the few losses that I had. All right, then we had DTXRBT, 30x, DeFi, 20x, IVA, 7x. Earlier in this market, we also had a chain GPT, which was, of course, phenomenal, right? That did absolutely fantastic. With a 70x, still sitting at 12x. Right? This is where the real money for me is coming from. In the bear market, like, I made like crazy money with this. With Hypercycle, I did fantastic. And why did I did so well with that? Did I do so well with that? Because nobody wanted to invest in this. Nobody. Because it was May 2023. How does May 2023 look on the Seedify chart? Well, it was here, right? So we were still, for Seedify, right, in the middle of a bear market. People didn't have money. They didn't believe in anything, right? So nobody they invested in Hypercycle. So therefore, Seedify said like, hey, we have a second round. You have high allocation. And we even got a third round for that. And I invested everything that I had. So I invested in total 10K in that sale. $10,000. And it did a 13x. Did I get $130,000 out of it? No, definitely not. But did I get more than 10K out of it? Yeah. Yeah, right. Because here it launched. I don't know the IDO price exactly. It says it right here. The IDO price was 8.5 cents. Right, so that was here. And it got vested over a long time. But look, from May 8th, 2023, the token finally went into a loss in February 2025. So for 2 years, it was above IDO price. So 2 years, this was a long vesting as well, but I got to dump this token with a pretty big profit, actually. So this was a lot of profit for me. And then it crashed, right? Then all these new coins, they completely went to shit. Basically, there are some that are still in profit. AI Tech is doing well. ChainGPT is doing well. DexCheck was doing well, but now finally below it as well. But Hypercycle, GTAI was doing well for a long time. We had no, I don't know which one it was. Micro went pretty much above it for a long time, or not for a long time, but by a lot as well. There were so many. Shildium did pretty insane actually, and completely crashed, right? So you might look like shit charts, right? Shit charts, definitely shit, definitely. But then again, if you look like, hey, I don't know what the exact IDO price was, but it first did a 27x. Right? Even with like 5% vesting at TGE, you got your money back already. And the rest is just profit. Fuck it, right? And that's exactly the game that I'm going to play now again as well. And yeah, Seedify is just one of the project that I feel like, man, of course, going so hard on one project. Overall, I would say it's unwise. On the other hand, it's my conviction. If something ever happens to Seedify, I am fucked because everybody feels like you've been shilling Seedify. I'm not shilling anything. I'm just literally showing you where I put my money. I don't need you to buy it. It has a $60 million market cap. I won't change the price chart. So don't come say that like I don't have an impact like that. Just showing you what I am doing. Okay, and all I want to say is one big launch from S-Fund with a tier 9. But even if you have a slightly lower tier, but you have a decent tier, which is now still relatively affordable, right? At 93 cents compared to the 17, 18 bucks where it went before. That can change lives. Really, really a lot. You can do this with other launchpads. If Seedify is too expensive for you, but then again, you pay for quality. I would say go with one launchpad and work your way up there. If you can afford tier 2 and you pull off a killer IDO, take that money, get into tier 3 or 4, whatever, and then put it into new IDOs, right? I'm feeling also very bullish on ChainGPT. I think there was some clash between ChainGPT and S-Fund. I am not involved in that. I don't even know what's going on. I don't really care, actually. I like both projects for different reasons. But ChainGPT, I cannot say that they are not doing a good job as well. I like what they're doing. And with ChainGPT, I feel like, man, could it go lower? Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. But they are also in my top 3 launchpads. Same story, same everything. The only difference is that Seedify already, it's hot as well, by the way. Seedify, as I told you. The only difference is that ChainGPT or that Seedify already went through a bull market. So it already showed like, hey, we can do 500x launches. ChainGPT wasn't there yet. So with ChainGPT, it's harder to say like, hey, how will you do? But it is pretty cool to see that in 2023 and 2024, and that's this right there, actually, that's just this part, this part. So it's pretty comparable to, if you look at the last cycle, this part, they already had launches with 40x gains, 27, 27, 26, 26, 24, 18, 16. Again, you won't sell all your vestings at that amount, for sure not. So this, of course, looks better than what it is in reality, but try to not be in a profit with this. Good luck, right? That like, you will be in a profit with this. Yeah, I'm curious how they will do during a parabolic run. I think that ChainGPT is gonna cook really hard, really hard. They're innovative. I like what I really like them. I really like them. Also hot. And my third favorite launchpad actually is going a complete different direction, because this is Price-wise, high risk. Decubate. But I speak to the founder occasionally. He's also from the Netherlands, so that gives you a little bond talking about weed and chocolate and whatever we have right here. No, he's a smart guy. He's a good guy. He loves his project. He works a lot for it, from what I notice. And shout out to Elliot, man. He's doing fantastic. And Decubate as well. Market cap wise, they're sitting at 3 million right now. They were sitting at 3 million right here. And when the market heated up a little bit, they blasted all the way to 90 million. Crazy. It was, again, hard to get a good tier right here. Here it isn't. So this is my next one that I'm stacking up on. And because it's automatically that whenever the market does well, launchpads do well because people want to get into new projects and they will FOMO extra hard, therefore, in an upwards market in launchpad tokens. Yeah, therefore, I feel like, man, whenever the market is down, they look like extra shit. But I feel like, yeah, that's just now. That's just now. But that's the time where you want to prepare. And again, maybe I'm going to be wrong about it this time. But if I'm not, I'm going to be very right. Like, as in, it's going to be very rewarding. And that's a risk that I'm willing to take. Right? You do you? I'm willing to take that risk. With Decubate, low market cap. I like this platform mostly because they are also a B2B platform. So if you ever get tokens vested from a ChainGPT sale or whatever, and you go to the vesting portal, that vesting portal is mostly made by Decubate. That's what they provide to other projects. So they have an income flow which just doesn't only depend on the launches that they do. And that, I don't know, makes me feel extra comfortable. If we look at Decubate as a launchpad and we go to the past IDOs, you can see that if we go to the win, they are active since April 2023. And again, also here. And so I honestly thought it was a little older than that. I don't know, maybe brain fog. I'm on a keto diet, so I everything I say the last couple of weeks, don't do it. No, I don't know, but anyway, since 2023. And if you look at their all-time high ROI, they released ChainGPT, they released Solidus, they released Octavia, Freebank, DexCheck, Chappies, RWA, all projects that you probably heard of, right? And yeah, Freebank, it's now crap. But again, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, the new launches overall, you don't want to hold it for the long term because there's so much vesting. If you don't dump, somebody else will. So just dump it. If you're in profit, that's what you're doing it for. Get rid of it. Fuck it. If you really like the project, cool. Dump it. Let other people dump. And when the tokens are vested, you can always buy them back. And then you are like in a way better position. But great launches as well. Not as much, right? They only have one page right here. But overall, not bad. All-time high ROI on average in the last 6 months, if that's how I have to read it, is 4x. Yeah, during the last 6 months, that's not bad, given the fact that the market has been down only for the last 6 months, basically, right? Not down only, but pretty much down. So that's really what I am doing. And again, I do want to mention, it's not shill. Don't get in if you don't want to get in. This is completely rebranding, so it's going to look a lot better, actually. But I run Web3 Whales. This is my project. And what we do with Web3 Whales, we have a collective pot. We started with a buy and a sell tax, etc. And therefore, everybody that stakes our token, they will get a share of the projects that we invest in with Web3 Whales. We are also tier 9 with Web3 Whales. We have the highest tier on ChainGPT. We are in Neo Tokyo. We are having a lot of private sales that we invested in as well, which still have to come out. And I'm happy that these projects didn't release yet because some did, and the market showed like, ooh, private sale, a lot of vesting in the market that's down. Here you go, down 99%, fuck you. So check it out. It's currently, we said W3W, find it on CoinGecko. We're sitting at $1 million market cap, something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of money coming our way. And that way, you just have to stake our token, and you don't have to do anything else than that. That's so cool about it. Now, if I look, Zach, one of our developers, sent some pictures of how the new app is going to look. A lot cleaner, a lot better. Just a little spoiler right here for you guys. We have a new logo, but this is going to be fantastic, actually. This is going to be fantastic. As a project owner, also, sometimes people ask like, hey, when are you going to do some marketing for the project? And I always say to people like, you know what? When there are people to do marketing to, we will. But for now, I am not going to spend money to market a token when there's nobody in the market. That would be stupid. So I'd rather now participate in refundable pre-sales, make money, strengthen the project, improve the D-app. We are improving the staking pools. The longer you stake, the more rewards. And by the time that the market allows, we have a big pot that we can do marketing with. So definitely check that out. In other news, long videos this time. Sorry, not going to edit this. Don't have a lot of time this week. Excuse me for that. In other news, I bought some Cardano. I know, right? You hear Jelly Ross. Somebody save me from myself. But I bought some Cardano for a good reason. I said this in the Elf Factory as well. There's a link down below, by the way. You can see my whole portfolio, follow it, call with me, get on a call with the whole group, see exclusive video. It's nice out there. But Cardano dominance is mostly what made me buy Cardano. Stupid keto diet. If I look at Cardano dominance, up really hard, down, found first bottom, down, found first bottom, pump towards 1.5% dominance, pump towards 1.5% dominance, down, find the bottom, down, find the bottom, hard pump towards 1.3% dominance, hard pump to 1.3% dominance, down again, and not just the same down, right? Like here, it went down 51-ish%. Down here, same, right? Consolidating for a while, low lows, etc. Consolidating low lows. Every step is literally perfectly repeated. Hey, I'm gambling on the fact that the next step might also get repeated. And if that's the case, and it goes to around 4% dominance, hey, this is dominance. This is not price. The dominance says more right now than what it said back here. Why? Because here we didn't have $3.3 billion or $1 trillion in the crypto market, but here we have. Right, so what if Cardano goes to 4% dominance again, and we have $3-4 trillion in the crypto market? $150 billion market cap for Cardano. It's now 20, right? So I feel like, I mean, it's worth a shot for me, and it makes sense. If retail comes in, what they're gonna buy? Something that they feel familiar with on an easy exchange. ADA. They remember that from this bull run and from this bull run. Easy. So I cannot, although I don't like Cardano as a product or whatever, the price chart doesn't lie. So that's what I bought as well. For now, let the altcoin market do its thing. It's going up a little bit. It can go down whenever this video comes out again. It doesn't really matter. A lot of coins are still boring. But again, OXO was one of the outperformers. If you have that, you know, if I look at this and I compare it with a super, for example, completely different price chart, right? So what you can also always do is say like, you know what, little profit on OXO, take some out, right? Can maybe buy some super or whatever, or maybe buy it back later. Arrow as well. Insane run, right? Seedify last couple of weeks, insane run. And there are a few more of those. take advantage of that. I take advantage of the few pumpers that there are. And if you are still not at a break-even point, doesn't really matter. What you can also do is, and I posted this chart in the L Factory, like I might take this trade. I didn't take it, but right after I said that, Arrow on its near pair, right, exploded. This thing went up with 60% in a week. Right, so yeah, if I took this trade, I can now say like, oh, cool. I'm now gonna buy some near with my Arrow. Then it all doesn't matter what you paid for it dollar-wise. You're just making sure that you have a lot more altcoins. And then whenever they do go up against the dollar, the gains are gonna be really fast. So that's what I want to leave it with for today. I know it's a long video, but I think that there's a lot of interesting information in this one. Let me know your thoughts, what your strategy is. I'm big on Launchpads, definitely. It's not my only gamble in this market though, but it is for me the most obvious one, because if AVAX is gonna moon and ADA and Wild and Arrow, it probably means that the whole market is doing well. And every time that the whole market is doing well, Launchpad tokens plus their sales outperform. And that's just where I wanna be. It's like on leverage without the chance of getting liquidated. Yeah, that's what I need, man. So sign me up. So I would say, guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, turn the bell notification on so you don't miss out on anything. Again, let me know down below what your strategy is and why. I want to learn as well. I want to expand beyond what I'm just saying in this video. So take care. Enjoy the gains if you have some. If not, a little more patience. Have a nice day.